Well, with cold and flu cases on the rise, many people are looking for ways to boost their immune system. Registered dietitian Dr. Elizabeth Hall is here with the Dairy Alliance to share 3 tips to help us all stay well. And it's always fun to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's so good to see you, Amy.
And I love that we're talking about this because I
Yes.
love natural ways to use kind of food as fuel for our bodies.
Yes, and it's one of those things you have to think about in advance, right? Because it really helps with prevention of a lot of these illnesses that we might fall prey to. So we really want to think about our diet, our hydration overall before we end up getting sick,
Yes,
right?
because it's all around us
Yes.
right now. I
I know,
feel like.
it's scary, isn't it? It's like all we hear about. Yes,
Yes.
like stay away.
Yes, so you have got some great tips, and we're going to give folks 2 right off the bat. So
Yes.
where do we start?
So our first tip is to stay hydrated. So a lot of us know drinking water is important to stay hydrated, but hydration is going to help your digestive system, which is kind of your first line of defense against a lot of those bugs. About 80% of our immune system is housed in our gut, so we want to keep it healthy, and water, enough fluid, helps to do that. But actually, it doesn't even just have to be water. Milk is actually a hydrating beverage. Research actually shows us that milk is better at promoting hydration for longer periods of time, even more than water, 100% juice, those sports beverages that a lot of times we like to think about drinking, because milk not only has that hydrating component, that fluid component, it also has 13 essential nutrients. So you got your protein in there. You also have those natural electrolytes that are going to help you stay hydrated. So we don't just have to think about water. We can think about adding milk to our recipes, even drinking a glass of milk.
And she's even got the chocolate milk
chocolate
for folks
milk,
like
too.
me who need a little extra flavor.
Hey, I'm a chocolate milk lover, you
know,
know?
right?
It's delicious.
I
Yes,
know,
and
I-
you're still getting all those nutrients in there. A little bit of added sugar, so you want to watch for that, but you're still getting the protein and all of those essential nutrients we talked about.
And I love your big water jug over there.
Yes, yes, so
That's
this can kinda
showing us
help you-
how much water we're supposed to be drinking.
It's a lot, isn't it? But remember, your other beverages like milk, even your foods would count towards that fluid component that you
Oh, that's
need in the
good.
day. Yeah, so you're still getting some fluid in there from other things, not just your water.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've got a little recipe for us,
I
too.
do, and this goes along with both of my tips. So my first tip is to stay hydrated. The second is stress relief. So we want to make sure we're getting enough sleep, we're exercising, and we're practicing those stress relieving activities, because increased stress actually does harm your immune system and keeps you, it makes you more likely to get sick. So we want to avoid
Great.
that. So this recipe is actually an acai milk tea. So we're also getting some antioxidants in there. So I'm kind of combining all 3 tips into one with this recipe. This is an acai milk tea, really easy to do. You probably have a lot of the ingredients on hand. One thing you might not have is acai powder.
Yeah, tell us about this
Yeah,
one.
so this is just the acai berry is what has all of those antioxidants, and basically just grinding it down into a powder and removing some of the liquid component. So you can add these to smoothies. We're going to add it to this milk tea recipe. So a good way to kind of boost the antioxidants in what you're eating or drinking. So the first thing I'm going to do here is add in my milk. So I have about 2 cups of milk here. I'm adding it to my pan, and I just want to keep this on low. I just want that to simmer. I'm going to add basil in here. So if you don't like basil, you could use another herb, but this just smells so good to me.
Yeah.
So I'm adding in my basil. You're going to let that simmer just until it starts to, smell fragrant, just until that milk heats up a little bit. You don't want to scald your milk, right? So just let that cook a little bit, simmer a little bit, and then you're going to remove your basil leaves after that. So I'm going to remove them really quick. Normally you'd go a little bit longer, but for interest of time, we'll hurry it up. And then I have my tea here. So I just have about a half a cup of water with my tea bag seeping. So I just heated this up in the microwave, the water, and then I let my tea bag seep in that hot water until you can start to see the color here.
Yeah.
I use this acai tea, but you could use wild berry, whatever tea you have on hand. So you're going to pour that in there. So only about a half a cup for the 2 cups of milk. So this is going to make several servings. And then you're going to pour in your powder, your antioxidant powder here.
Now just a little bit?
Yeah, I just put a
goes
little
long
bit.
way.
A serving size is 2 tablespoons. I'm looking
Okay.
on the back here. So just however much to taste, whatever you'd like to add. So you're just going to let that all come together. And you can even add a little bit of honey if you'd like, or another sweetener of choice that is increasing the added sugar. But hey, you know, we want a little bit of sweetness.
Yes.
We're stress
And
relieving,
honey, yes.
right?
Yes,
we want a little bit of
Don't
that.
add to the stress.
Yes,
right?
yes. So in adding honey, you know, that's also potentially some antioxidant benefits.
Yeah.
You know, depending on
For
where you're getting your
allergies
honey.
too,
Yes.
you know, let's just knock those out while we're at it.
Yep. So,
but I love this because
Yes.
tea usually to me is a little bit bitter sometimes. So I love creamy. So to be
Yes.
able to have that, mostly milk,
Mostly
which
milk.
is a little bit of tea.
A little bit for that taste, and we're also kind of hydrating, or not hydrating, but we're using less liquid for the tea bag, so you're really getting that burst of flavor. And you could also froth your milk. So if you had a milk frother at home, or even a whisk, you could just beat that up to help give it that creamy texture that we all love in a latte. So that's what we have here. And see, it's that pretty kind of purple color.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see, but delicious way to stress relief at the end of the day, but you're also getting your hydration in.
My goodness, so we're hydrated, we're stress-free now, and
Yes.
she's got one more tip that we're going to share with you coming up a little bit later on in the show. Plus, we're going to go over some other things just to keep our bodies healthy.
Yes.
Great to have you on the
Thank you.
show. Hey, if you would like more information and other recipes too, you can always check out the website, thedairyalliance.com.